Have you ever stood beside someone you loved, knowing they might not be here much longer, and felt completely helpless with your words? We try so hard to say the right thing to bring comfort, to show we care, but sometimes without meaning. Our words sting more than soothe, not because we're cruel, but because we're afraid of silence, afraid of saying nothing, so we reach for anything that sounds kind. And yet, what if the very phrases we thought were helpful were the ones that made their pain just a little heavier? This isn't a video about blame. It's about tenderness. It's about learning how to truly be there for someone who is dying. Because in moments like these, it's not about having the right answers. It's about bringing the right presence. So let's talk gently about the little mistakes we make and how we can love better when time is running out. Number 1, when good intentions are not enough. Sometimes, the hardest place to be is right beside someone we love who is dying. Not because we don't care, but because we care too much. And suddenly, nothing feels like enough. Not our hugs, not our words, not even our presence. And in that silence, that sacred and terrifying space, we start reaching for comfort, for something to say, for anything that might make it feel less heavy. We come with good hearts truly. We want to help them feel seen, feel loved, feel less afraid. But here's the tender truth no one teaches us. Good intentions don't always protect someone from pain, because words, though small and quick, carry great weight in moments like these. And sometimes the things we say, in our rush to comfort, can accidentally feel like denial, like dismissal, like pressure. We don't mean to. We don't even realize we're doing it. But when someone is facing the end of their life, they're not asking us to fix anything. They're not even asking us to make it better. What they need is for us to be with them, as they are, where they are, without pretending this isn't happening. It takes courage. It takes quiet. It takes being okay with not having the perfect words. Because at the edge of life, what matters most isn't what we say, but how gently we hold the space between us. And in the next part, we'll look at one of the most common things people say with love that can still cause more harm than good. Number 2, everything happens for a reason. There's a certain comfort we humans seek in meaning. When we're faced with something we can't fix or can't make sense of, we reach for phrases like, everything happens for a reason. But imagine this. You're lying in a quiet hospital bed, counting your breaths. You know your time is running short, and someone leans in and says, everything happens for a reason. What reason could possibly justify pain this deep? What grand cosmic plan could ever make a mother leaving her children, or a friend losing their final fight, feel meant to be? Sometimes there is no lesson to be learned, no silver lining, no neat bow to tie it all up. Sometimes things just hurt, and they're not part of some divine syllabus or spiritual test. They just are saying, everything happens for a reason. Can feel like we're skipping the sorrow. It can shut down what the dying person truly needs. Not explanation, but presence. Not logic, but love. The truth is, when someone's nearing the end, they don't need theories. They need your honesty, your closeness, your willingness to sit in the mystery of it all. So instead of trying to make sense of the senseless, try this. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I don't have answers, but I'm here, truly here. Because sometimes that's the only reason that matters. If this video brought a smile to your face or warmed your heart, don't forget to tap the like button. Number 3, stay strong. It sounds kind, doesn't it? Short, encouraging, familiar. A phrase we've heard and probably said more times than we can count. Stay strong. But here's the truth no one really says out loud. Dying is not a weakness. Letting go is not failure. When we tell someone who's facing the end of their life to stay strong, we might be asking them, without realizing it, to carry our fear, our discomfort, our need for things to seem okay, even when they're not. Because what does strong mean in a moment like this? Is it not crying? Not asking for help? Pretending they're fine so we don't feel broken? What if strength looks different now? What if strength is saying goodbye with trembling hands, or letting someone hold you while you cry? What if it's whispering, "I'm scared," and allowing someone else to say, "I know"? In the final days, there's a quiet kind of courage. Not the kind that roars, but the kind that sighs. The kind that lies still in a sunlit room that says, "I've done my best, and now I'm tired." So instead of "stay strong," maybe say, "You don't have to be strong right now, just be, and I'll be here with you." Because in the end, being there, fully, gently is far braver than asking someone to wear armor they no longer need. Number 4, you'll beat this. Just stay positive. Hope is beautiful. It lifts us. It gives light in dark places. But when someone is dying, hope starts to look different. It becomes quieter, gentler, less about miracles, more about meaning. When we say, "You'll beat this, just stay positive," what we often mean is, "I can't bear the thought of losing you, so let's pretend, just for a moment, that this isn't real." But here's the thing, they already know. They feel their body changing. They hear it in the doctor's voice. They see it in the way everyone avoids certain words. And when we insist they stay positive, we might be asking them to carry a performance to smile, to cheer, when what they really need is the space to be real. Positivity isn't wrong, but sometimes it becomes a prison. It can silence sorrow, push away honesty, and leave a person dying, feeling like they've somehow failed if they feel scared. Instead of saying, "You'll beat this," try saying, "I love you, and I'm here with you no matter what." Or even just, "This is hard, and you don't have to go through it alone." Because the kind of hope we offer at the end of life isn't always about a cure. Sometimes it's simply about presence, not fixing, not fighting, just being. And sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to stop pretending everything will be okay and simply hold their hand as it isn't. Number 5, at least you had a good life. There's something deeply human about trying to soften pain with perspective. We say things like, "At least you had a good life," thinking it will ease the weight, as if the memory of the past could somehow cancel out the ache of the present. But here's what that phrase often misses. A good life doesn't make saying goodbye any easier. A long life doesn't mean it's long enough. And no amount of blessings in the past can take away the sorrow of leaving the people you love. Now imagine sitting beside someone new who knows the days ahead are few. Their body is changing. Their world is shrinking. And instead of asking how they feel, or just being still with them, we say, "Well, at least you had a good life." It can sound like we're closing the book before they finish their last chapter. It can feel like we're brushing past their grief and dressing it up with silver linings. But the truth is, a person who is dying doesn't need us to summarize their life. They need us to hold space for the moments that are still happening, to honor the pain they're in right now, without rushing to the ending. So instead of "at least you had a good life," try this. Tell me about one moment you still carry in your heart. Or even, "I'd love to hear what made your life feel meaningful." Because the most generous gift we can offer is not a tidy summary, but the permission to keep living, feeling, and being right up to the very last breath. Number 6, I know exactly how you feel. It's something we say without thinking, maybe because we want to connect, maybe because we're trying to fill the silence. I know exactly how you feel. But the truth is you don't, and that's not a failure. It's a fact of being human. Even if you've lost someone before, even if you've been sick, or scared, or broken, what they're going through is theirs alone. Dying is deeply personal. It's a landscape only they are walking. And when we say we know exactly how they feel, we may unintentionally take up space that should be theirs. We might drown out the one thing they truly need to say by filling it with something that sounds like understanding, but leaves no room for listening. Empathy doesn't mean matching their story. It means sitting beside it quietly, gently, without needing to rewrite it as our own. So instead of, "I know how you feel," try saying, "I can't imagine what this is like for you, but I want to understand." Or, "If you'd like to share how this feels, I'm here to listen." Because presence isn't about having the right words. It's about having the right silence. The kind that says, "You don't have to explain yourself. I'm not here to fix you. I'm just here." And sometimes that's the most loving thing we can do. Number 7, everything happens for a reason. It's a phrase we reach for when things make no sense, when we feel helpless, when we can't bear to see someone we love slipping away. Everything happens for a reason. It sounds comforting. It tries to give shape to chaos, to offer order in a world that suddenly feels upside down. But when someone is dying, when they're in pain, when they're grieving their own goodbye, this phrase can feel like a wall instead of a window. It may sound like we're saying, this suffering has a purpose, so don't question it. Or worse, don't feel too deeply. Don't mourn too loudly. Just accept it. But death is not always tidy, and not every pain comes with a lesson. Sometimes things fall apart, and there is no clear reason. Sometimes life just ends, because that's how life works. And in those moments, it's not answers that are needed, it's presence. It's the warmth of someone who will sit in the mystery with you, not try to solve it. So instead of "everything happens for a reason," try something softer. "I wish I had the right words, but I don't. I'm just so glad I can be here with you." Or even, "This doesn't make sense, and I'm sorry it's happening." Because when someone is facing the end, they don't need philosophy. They need honesty. They need tenderness. They need the kind of love that doesn't try to explain the pain, but simply holds it. Number 8, you're going to a better place. We mean well when we say it. We want to offer comfort. We want to soften the finality. You're going to a better place. But often, what we don't realize is, we might be skipping over something sacred. Pain of parting, the fear of letting go, the ache of saying goodbye to this life. This messy, beautiful, imperfect life. Not everyone believes in heaven. Not everyone finds peace in the idea of a better place. And even those who do still grieve the people they must leave behind. When we say, "You're going to a better place," we may be trying to offer peace, but sometimes it can feel like we're avoiding their pain, or worse, silencing it. Because what if in that moment, they're not ready to think about eternity? What if all they want is to feel their hand held, to hear the sound of their loved ones' voices, to remember the smell of their home, the sunlight through the curtains, the laugh they love most in the world? Instead of reaching for the beyond sometimes, the most sacred thing we can do is to stay rooted in the now. Try saying, "I'll be right here with you," or "You are so loved, always." Or maybe just silence, filled with presence. Because for someone who is dying, heaven may not be a far-off land of clouds and light. It may be a quiet room, a familiar voice, a warm hand on theirs, and the feeling of not being alone. Saying goodbye is never simple. There are no perfect words, no polished phrases that can take away the final moments. But maybe that's not what we're meant to offer. Maybe what matters most is our sincere honesty, our willingness to simply be there, not to fix, but to feel, to walk beside someone we love. Not ahead of them, not behind, but gently, quietly, hand in hand. Because when the end comes, it's not our explanations they'll remember, but our love, not our advice, but the sound of our voice when we said, "I'm here, you matter, and you are not alone." And if you've ever lost someone or stood beside someone who was leaving, you know this truth. What we say in those final chapters can echo for a lifetime. So let's speak with tenderness. Let's listen with open hearts. Let's choose words that honor the moment, not rush through it. If this video moved you, if it helped, you reflect, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with someone who might need it, and subscribing for more gentle, thoughtful conversations like this. We'd love to hear your voice in the comments below. Have you been through a moment like this? What helped? What hurt? Your story might be the light someone else is looking for. Thank you for being here, for listening, for caring. Until next time, take care of your heart and of those you love.